Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 66 through 68 of RuYi's Royal Love. With Yenwon close to delivery, her mother is allowed in to see her. Her mother is crass, mean-spirited, and frankly embarrassing. She's a well-done character though, very believable. If you don't know anyone like this, I envy you. Back when Yenwon was still with Yoon-cha, the main reason she would marry him was because her mother said he wasn't rich or powerful enough. That fits this woman to a T. It's no wonder Yenwon values money and status so much.
就是抠了点儿，上这点儿才够做几身衣裳的呀。
She's unkind, which is common enough, but the problem is she doesn't know how to hold her tongue.
等你一落地，帝额娘说不定就是皇后了。额娘。
After years in the palace, Yenwon has learned how to act and keeps trying to get her mother to stop being so tactless, but as anyone with stubborn parents knows, easier said than done. She has high aspirations for her daughter and is overheard praying for her to have a son and become the empress. That's bad enough, but then she's also cursing RuYi with voodoo. Thank God the maid who saw her isn't loyal to Yenwon and reports the matter to Liu, who immediately reports to the emperor. The emperor calls Yenwon's mother in.
哎呦，各位主儿们安，贵婿哟！
哎，万福。
This is so obviously not a social visit, but Yenwon's mom is not the most perceptive of women. Unbeknownst to her, her son, Yenwon's brother, has already been brought in for questioning. They bring in some voodoo dolls and she at least knows enough to play dumb.
这是什么娃娃？做得这般丑，妾身没见过。
Yenwon's mom claims to have no idea what they are, but of course she slips up. When she's told the dolls were found in her manor outside of the palace, she responds that that can't be because they need to be buried close to the target. Creepy eunuch has heard enough. So Yenwon's mom was clearly lying about knowing what the dolls were, but this brings up another question. If she knows the dolls need to be buried near their target, why would she bury them at her house? They were planted. After the maid told Liu about the dolls, he asked,
那个布偶是什么样子？
made copies, planted them, and then used that as an excuse to investigate further, knowing that they would find the real dolls at Yenwon's palace. Yenwon's mom might have been able to use this discrepancy as a defense, but she doesn't watch enough Law and Order. She keeps blabbing, and it doesn't take long to figure out that she has a connection to Hailan's no-good nephew Jia Qi.
这扎齐呀，是先母府中有宠，他为他姑母于妃不平，所以他陷害妾身。
Even though earlier she claimed not to know Hailan or anyone in her family. Meanwhile, Yenwon's brother didn't even get tortured. He saw the torture equipment, pissed his pants, and immediately confessed. His written confession states that he got close to Hailan's nephew under Yenwon's instructions. So just to clear up the flow of money here, Yenwon would give money to her brother, who would give it to Hailan's nephew Jia Qi, but tell him to tell everyone else that the money was from Hailan. Jia Qi would keep some of the money and give the rest to midwife Tian, also under strict instructions to say the money was from Hailan, which is why her son was so convinced that she was working for her. Yenwon finally shows up. Before she enters, creepy eunuch makes it clear that it's way too late to save her mom, and Yenwon gets it. She comes in and immediately starts with, "Mom, why did you do all these things totally by yourself, completely unrelated to me? Didn't you realize that if I were blamed, totally innocent by the way, the emperor would kill our whole family, including my brothers Olu, who you love so much? It's a good thing I didn't know about this and you did this all on your own, right?" As dumb as her mother is, she gets the hint. She can't be saved anyway, so she'd best at least try to save her children. She admits to everything.
这件事和左路令妃娘娘无关。
Everyone can see that Yenwon is literally throwing her mother under the horse. It's just sad to watch. Still, the emperor is willing to accept it, so he sentences Yenwon's mother to death. Yenwon goes into labor, and after all this drama, she gives birth to a princess. On top of that, the emperor is miffed about the whole thing and decides to demote her to second-class female attendant. And he gives the 7th princess to consort Ying, who just lost her daughter. Not that the emperor knows, but it's fitting since Yenwon was the reason for the miscarriage. Look at how excited Liu is to tell her the news. First, he tells her consort Ying will be raising the child because she is of a higher status. Then when they're like, wait, Yenwon has the same title, he goes, oh, wait, did I forget to tell you? You're a second-class female attendant now. So petty, I love it. Yenwon goes to see the Empress Dowager. If you remember, she's been working under her ever since she pledged her allegiance in episode 58. The Empress Dowager never has or will approve of hurting her grandchildren though, and cuts off all ties. Yoon-cha finds her crying in the rain and she has the nerve, the absolute gall to ask him for help. You are out of your mind. You know that one ex that you can't help but daydream about running into again, but you're super successful and they're like, oh my god, hurting you was such a mistake, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. That's Yoon. He's living that dream and I am so happy for him. And then we never see Yeonwon again. So, the Highland plot. Yeonwon has gotten so good at scheming, but in the end is brought down by the stupidity of her mother. Circumstance aside, I can't help but wonder if she isn't a bit glad to be getting rid of her. She was so incredibly annoying, and now Yeonwon doesn't need to send her money all the time and try to live up to her impossible expectations. Plus, she would always have been a gun waiting to go off. I mean, her last words as she's being sent off to her death are to kill the Empress and take her position. You're literally minutes away from death and that's what you have on your mind? It's not as if RuYi did something to you, it was 100% your fault. In any case, I do appreciate them trying to add some levity here and there. I actually really enjoyed watching Creepy Eunuch. He's just so hilarious, watching all his plans go down the drain thanks to this woman's mouth. And then the scene when they won't let him out of the palace to give Yeonwon a heads up.
我是去看看什么时辰了，好给皇上上点心。
皇上没传，咱们还是候着吧。您说呢？
是，自然，自然，自然。
And then again, when he's praying for Yeonwon to deliver smoothly. There's even a scene when Highland sends her maid to mess with Yeonwon while she's delivering, which is also pretty hilarious.
魏夫人已死，左路发配边疆戍守。哎呀！
As for Highland and RuYi, I like how mature their relationship is. The scene of RuYi coming to pick her up from the gates of the torture department was so understated, and I think it worked really well.
走吧。
RuYi didn't come to see her while she was in prison, but Highland understands why. There's no need for apologies or really too many words. They just kind of, those guys suck, huh? They almost got us. Yep. And now for a look at the book. In the novel, you probably guessed it, but RuYi was behind the voodoo dolls completely. They were totally planted, and Liu didn't get any kind of tip from a maid, he just made stuff up. In the drama, it's awfully convenient that they get a get-out-of-jail-free card just as Yeonwon puts her actually really great plan into action, whereas in the novel, it's a counterattack. But anyway, we already know Book RuYi and Highland aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. What I want to talk about here is Highland's relationship with her son. So when Highland is locked up, she and RuYi already have a plan, the voodoo dolls, so she knows she'll be out in no time. But the fifth prince has no idea what's up. He goes to see RuYi every single day in kowtow's Jia style, but keeping up appearances, RuYi does not open the door to see him. She wants people to believe that she's lost faith in Highland, and leaving fifth prince outside makes it more believable. But imagine how scary that would be for such a young kid to have one of the people you trust more than anything in the world just ignore you when you think your mother is about to die. Anyway, when Highland is released, fifth prince is there, and you know what Highland does? She berates him for begging RuYi for help. She looked at him with eyes so bright they could have turned him into crystal. I heard you couldn't control yourself and went to beg the Empress to save me. Is that right? The young boy's face was deep red, filled with shame. Highland stared at him, the last traces of her smile slowly fading away. You did that because you didn't believe that your royal mother would help me sincerely. That's why you made such a disgraceful show of yourself, right? She continues to berate him about not trusting RuYi and how useless what he did was. There's definitely a lesson to be learned here about thinking ahead, but the way Highland is going at him, all I can think is, he's your son, he's like 12, he only wanted to save his mom. After reading this part in the novel, I realized that they really took the easy way out by not showing fifth prince at all during this fiasco, because of course he would have been worried and scared and RuYi would look totally heartless to leave him in the dark. As for Highland, it totally tracks for her character. She does not care about anyone but RuYi. She's really not close to her son at all. Here's hoping Book Yongchi still grows up to be as good of a man as he is in the drama. Till next time, thanks for watching.